Hey everybody, welcome to my garage. Here's a video that shows how we built our pollinator garden last summer. So take a look and let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. Hey everyone, we're going to show you how to build and plant a butterfly and hummingbird garden. I didn't video the initial steps because I forgot, but I'll explain them right now. The first thing we did is we just used our garden hose and we laid out the pattern and decided how big it would be and what the garden would look like. And the reason you use a garden hose is because it's flexible, it's bendable, it's easy to move, it's easy to shape. So we did that to get the basic shape and outline of our garden. And then what I did is I spray painted the grass along the garden hose. It's kind of grown out, so it doesn't really show it right now very well, but I spray painted a line where the garden hose was. And then this way you could remove the hose and still have the outline of where you plan on putting the edge of the garden. The next step was to find stones to edge the garden. You don't have to use stones. We decided to do it because it'll keep the grass from growing into the garden area much better. And it also is an edge to hold and keep the mulch in place as well. So the next step, which I'm working on right now, is that along the edge of the garden, you cut out the grass, the sod, if you have sod. So you cut it out, start making a little trench, and that will again show you where the bricks are going to go. What I'm going to do with the stone is we're going to bury it down about halfway. So over here you can see it's a little bit deeper, but the trench will be about halfway as deep as the bricks go. And you'll see me do this later, but I will put some crushed gravel in the bottom of the trench as well, so that the stone is resting on the gravel. So again, when it freezes or when it walks on it or the ground gets wet and soggy, the bricks will stay more in place and stay more stable with the crushed gravel underneath the brick. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I still have a little bit more to dig out and remove the sod, and then we'll go to the next step, which will be pulling out all of the sod and grass within the planting area to get down to dirt. So to cut the sod out, I use this tool. That's a sod cutting tool, and basically I go along the edge of where I'm going to cut out, and you just push and make a cut through the side, push, make a cut through the side. So you do this along the whole edge. And then I'll take the brick out, and I'll cut the other edge. Just going to cut it this way. Pull it out easy to show you. And then using a claw tool, I just use that to start pulling up the sod. It usually comes up. Depends what kind of sod you have and how old or new the sod is, how established it is. This sod is brand new. It's only been down a couple months, so it really hasn't become root bound yet to the ground. So it actually comes out pretty pretty easily, as you can see. And that's it. So I just do that the whole length of the edge. And again, just to show you what it looks like. Hello, I'm going to switch the video around. This is what it looks like. And you get a pretty nice clean channel to put the bricks in. So that's how you do that. So we finally got approval from the HOA to put our butterfly garden in. So the next phase is pulling out the sod. So you can see I'm starting to pull the sod out, and I'm also burying the rock border. And I'll show you a little bit how I'm doing that when I get to the next section here. But lots and lots of stuff to pull out here still. We are digging the trench out for the stone border. So we had it marked like I showed you previously, and Janet's just using a sod cutter to get a nice straight edge down and forces the dirt up, and eventually we'll clean out all the pieces. There she goes, cleaning out the pieces, and we'll measure it as we start putting the stone in. But over here is what it looks like when it's cleaned out. And then I'll put a thin layer of paver gravel in underneath the stones. And we'll show you how I do that in a little bit.
There's a nail or something right there.
All right. So the channel, or whatever it's called, is cleaned out. I'm going to go ahead and pour in just some paver gravel. I'm going to start spreading it down to get it down to a nice level. Just push it that way as I need it. And then what I do is I take the stone, and if you can see when I set it in initially, it's too high. So I'm going to use this to tamp down the gravel until the brick gets level. And there you go. And I'll continue to do this down the channel. The reason I'm doing this is so that the stones just have a better base. And they won't shift as much if the ground freezes, because it could freeze here. And it just gives it a nice level base instead of the mud. All the sod's out of the main area. And we placed all the plants in the areas where they're going to be planted. And all plants.
Take 3. He couldn't get the. No, do not put my vase on there. He didn't have it on record 2 times.
So this is the 3rd time I'm recording this. All the plants you should try to put in triangle patterns, not straight lines. So as I walk around, you could see here that everything's in a triangle for the most part with other plants. We also put larger plants to the outside back side, so those will get larger. This is a large butterfly bush, and this here will be a large flowering bush. And then over here, I haven't dug the sod out of this section yet, but there'll be a couple stepping stones here. So it's a little bit lower plants alongside the stepping stones. And the same thing over here. We're going to have a stepping stone path right up the middle, which is why it's empty. And so there's, again, taller plants on the outside, shorter plants on the inside by the path. So the butterfly garden is complete for the most part. We finished planting all the rest of the plants, put in some stepping stones, mulched, and this is what it looks like. Some of the plants might look a little spread out right now, but they will get bigger. So we planted it that way on purpose so they have room to grow and fill in. Added the bird bath and a rock. We rolled the big rock out here and added some lighting. But there's the main path and all of the plants. Let us know if you have any questions on any of the specific steps, because I know we didn't detail them very much, but just email in the comments and let us know if you have questions on any of the particular steps, like I said, or even any of the specific plants. I'll be glad to give my opinion and answer any questions you have. That's it. A couple plants I want to point out specifically. This is catmint, not catnip. While we were planting and we sat down to take a rest, and we already had a hummingbird come and check out this plant. And the hummingbirds have also been on this plant. I don't remember the name of it offhand, so I'll look it up in my list and post it on the video as a post-production overlay here. But it's got these beautiful little like tulip or bell type flowers, and the bees love it. And like I said, the hummingbirds have already visited. We haven't seen any butterflies yet, but hummingbirds have found the garden. Hey everybody, just wanted to do a few follow-up comments to this video. The first one being that we will show what the garden looks like in a separate video this coming summer, once the plants have had a chance to come back and hopefully be thriving and thicker than they were when we first planted them. But secondly, I also want to mention that a number of the plants that you saw had to be replaced a few months or a few weeks actually after we planted them, because we got infested with a aphid type insect called whiteflies. Never have run into or even heard of whiteflies before, but basically by the time we recognized that that's what the problem was, most of the plants were dead or mostly dead. What happens is the whiteflies lay eggs, and then when they hatch, they basically suck the life out of the plants, literally. They suck all the moisture out of the leaves. The leaves dry up. They have no way to get nutrition and ultimately die. So we actually lost quite a few of the plants we planted. We did get rid of the whiteflies. We got some organic pesticide that ultimately did get rid of them. But just a warning, watch out for pests, especially on new plants, because they're weak and not established yet and will suffer more easily. So hopefully the garden and most of the plants that we replanted will look better this coming season, and I'll do a follow-up video on that, so keep an eye out. After I looked back at some of this footage I had of our original plants as I was making this video, I noticed that you could actually already see some of the white flies zipping around the plants. I just wish I would have seen this sooner than later, but check out, I'll slow up the video here and put some arrows in of where the white flies were zipping around.